We have finished the first week of the open beta for Battlefield 6, and all I can say, to be honest, is I want more. Like, have you ever watched a TV show, a series, or read an awesome book, and then once you finish, you're like, it's like you've lost a part of your life. You want more. There's a void there now, and how do you fill it? Type of thing. That's kind of what I feel with Battlefield 6, and it's a great feeling. Although, although for some people it's hard to navigate that until they find the next great thing, which is always awesome because there's always new content, new experiences that people want to fulfill in their lives, right? And right now that's Battlefield 6 for me. So I can't wait until week 2 of the open beta, and then we're gonna come right back to that void, I think, again, until the full launch happens. So what they've got is something special. I did not have this feeling with 2042. I don't even actually remember if they did in a beta for 2042. I know it wasn't this extensive of what they had, so this is giving the right amount of content, and not just that, but kind of understanding what it's all about as well too. So there's been some things that have been going around in terms of, I don't know, rumors, or I don't know if there's been actual press release on what they're putting in for week 2 of the open beta of Battlefield 6, but it would be great if we were able to try different modes. If they don't, I think there's a good enough breadth of content here anyway, to where if they made some changes or updates, or I think what I'd like to see is at least an updated build, but I know that's not always easy to do in a short turnaround time. So it would be great if we could get an updated build with some of the changes they've been talking about to I know they've been talking and tracking TTK. I don't know if they made any changes. I did see that they confirmed changes to the shotgun, though. So it'd be great to like maybe see those changes and see how they play out. And I'm sure that they made tons of other changes as well too. I would really love to see a bug fix to that ADS scope artifacts that are when I ADS and stuff sometimes. I don't know if it's specific to my graphics card, but I can't be the only one that's seeing that as well too. And have the updated drivers and everything for that. So that's definitely a bug that needs to get fixed, because man, that screwed me up so many times. And it happened pretty it didn't have solid repro steps for that bug. It was just random. But it happened often enough to where it was when it happened, it was problematic. Now, thankfully, it didn't last too long where it corrected itself, but it was still really annoying when I was in a firefight trying to use ADS. So I really hope they fix that and they can get that updated in the build. Even if they don't get it in the next beta, that's okay, but please get that fixed for launch. That's like the major bug that I encountered in the open beta so far. But it'll be great to see balance changes, any changes that they do make, to be able to actually test those out before launch. Now, when I've been a producer, leading teams or as part of teams as well too, in terms of open betas, like, it is a beta. So if they have new like live tools where they're doing live tuning, new systems they're trying to test out, especially when it comes to like disaster recovery or anything like that, like, this is the time for them to test those out, prove out the infrastructure, prove out disaster recovery tools, live changes, different stuff like that. If they like on Anthem and on Halo and stuff, we had tools to where we could make changes to like challenges in the battle pass, or changes to tuning as well too on the server side. Until we got out a solid patch that would affect the client, we could make live tuning changes on the go. And so if they have stuff like that, it would be great to test those out in the beta to make sure that they work. You don't want to test those in live and being like, oh, it doesn't fucking work and stuff. Like, oh, maybe we should have tested that earlier. Like, so it'd be interesting to see if they do any of that, because that's actually what I look to do when I'm on the development team and we have new systems we don't know will work or whatever and stuff. Like, we try and announce those to players beforehand as well too, but you want to be able to try and test those out in a live environment as well too. And during beta is the perfect time to do that, because it is beta. Like, you are there to see give the players an early preview, but also if there are things that will help players in the live service of the game, because this will be a live service game. They already talked about seasonal content and everything like that, so this will be a live service game. And if they are going to have Battle Royale and stuff too, and whether they do seasons on a yearly basis or something different in terms of cadence, they will have to keep these servers running and keep it going and keep it fresh, and new meta, new weapons, new maps, new game modes, whatever it may be, and stuff. So if there are systems that they need to test in order to make sure that it stays up as long as possible, or being able to recover data on server, whatever it may be and stuff, I would want to test those out now. So that's usually what I look for when I'm before I'm looking to launch a live service game, when I've been a producer before. So, but anyway, it'll be great to be able to jump back in this weekend for the weekend 2 of the beta. It's happening. Updates here. I think it said I thought it was the 16th to 17th, but maybe it starts like the 15th on Friday in the evening. I want to say it's actually Saturday though, in the morning. So we'll be jumping back in for a stream. I'm looking for tags. I also want to try the DMR, so that's one thing I'm going to try out as well too. I didn't get that in one of my loadouts, and so I'll actually probably do that here if I can. No, they took out the loadouts in the screen here, so I can't do any of that because they took that offline, right? All we have is, we can see the challenges that we completed. Oh, they even took out the ones that we completed. So all the ones I have remaining. Oh, here are the ones that are completed. I didn't complete these. I almost finished the repair vehicle thing. And then they have the main screen, of course. And the only thing there is the bulletin, which they're, of course, in the first part of the carousel here. They're trying to promote pre-orders. Makes sense. Challenges for exclusive rewards, and just some other information as well too. But the other thing you can do, of course, is you can, now this is something I think is great for new players. We were able to do this when we preloaded as well too, before the early access was able to start last week, which was when you preload, you were able to set up and customize your settings, which I think is amazing, because especially for a game with this in-depth amount of settings here, you need to be able to have time to adjust these. Everyone has kind of their own style and preferences and whatever, especially when it comes to keyboard and mouse bindings, to be able to customize this before you actually get in game, because once that game launches and stuff, the only thing I want to do is get in game. I don't want to have to mess with all my settings first and then do that. Now, there'll probably be some adjustments. Like I had my key binding set and stuff, and then I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good, or this isn't great, or whatever. And so I did some adjustments after, but I'm not having to like go in from 0 to 100 immediately and stuff. I was able to make my initial changes and stuff. The game launched for open beta week 1, and then I just refined them as I went, which was a lot more manageable and a lot less like fire hose all at once type of thing. And I think that's a really smart thing that we'll continue to see with games going forward as well too, when they go into beta. So there is actually one thing I want to do here. Vehicles, aircraft keybind. No, it wasn't aircraft keybinds. I think I need to move this up. Was it in here? Where was that he said? Or there's something that Stone Mountain was saying you should do when you're in an aircraft. forget where that setting is. I'd have to go back and find it. I don't actually remember where it was. It wasn't in graphics. Oh, it was maybe. I was thinking it was in controls. Okay. Well, we'll just leave it there for now, at least. I'll have to find that control and stuff, but yeah, I'm really excited for week 2. And then after week 2 here, all we have to do is wait about 6 weeks, which should give them time to take any last feedback. Maybe they'll get it in for a day 1 patch if they're quick fixes. If they're longer fixes, expect to see them soon after launch. If not, they might come in a patch like a 30-day or a 60-day patch, because there'll also be feedback as well too from the community of things that they, especially when you get a larger player base as well too. They already had a lot of people in for the open beta last weekend, but there will definitely be more players, especially with a lot of the hype, social media, marketing as well too, trying to promote the game even more up until launch here. So they will definitely get probably more players in week 2 here. And not just that, when launch starts, provided everything goes well as it has been going, they will continue to grow that user base, and acquisition is what they call it as well too. Big kind of key pillars for live service games, especially at EA, is acquisition, retention, monetization. The thing they're really wanting to do right now is acquire, and not just that, but they're really trying to win back the players after what happened with 2042, and I would even arguably say Battlefield 5 as well too, which was the last 2 Battlefield games. They're trying to win back the community. They even said that in some of their core. If you look at the interview with Byron Beed and Vincent Pella, they even talked about that in the interview as well